welcome back to the Blues Box. Thank you for joining us again. We really appreciate it. If you like what we do, please do subscribe, like, comment, all much appreciated. Please just get in touch for a chat. That would be lovely. So what have we got today, Steve? It's a review. It's a review day. It's Steve's first review day, so be gentle on him.
This is called Jeff throwing me under the bus.
You make it. I'm so evil.
The expression "blind leading the blind" springs to mind. We're going to do a short review.
Yeah. What have we got?
My Mad Professor Royal Blue Overdrive, which I'm in love with. It's a great pedal. The issue comes when I have to describe to you why I'm in love with this pedal.
You being a Matt Schofield fan, though, it's hardly surprising you've ended up with some Mad Professor stuff, is it?
No, if I'm honest, that's kind of how I discovered the pedal.
Yeah.
So the intro, which you've just listened to, is Strat through this pedal. So lovely, lovely sound with the Strat. We're also going to demo it with a Les Paul just to see what we can get out of that as well. So
my Les Paul.
Jeff's newly acquired Les Paul.
Down on the rat pedal.
Yes.
Lovely. I like it.
So, in true Jeff style, if I take you through the very simple controls for me. So we've got a drive, a volume, and I know actually a lot of overdrive pedals just have a tone.
Yeah, they do.
Control, don't they? Whereas this has got a bass and a treb.
I do like that bit of flexibility.
Yeah, so that's quite nice. Very simple pedal. I think the one gripe both of us have got, it's not with Mad Professor with a lot of pedals, is the side. Much prefer it when it's on.
I prefer inputs and outputs on the top, and I do prefer power on the top as well. It just makes it so much easier. But
just a little easier.
Can I ask a quick question before you get too far in? If it's called Royal Blue...
Oh no, here we go, yeah.
Why is it purple? Is purple known as Royal Blue? I don't know.
Comments section below.
That wasn't designed for comments, but it is clearly purple, which is a royal colour.
Very good question, Jeff.
Has it not crossed your mind, Steve?
No, not really.
See, that would... No, okay, I'll leave
Sheer panic as to what I was going to say about a pedal that isn't just this turns this way and this turns that way might have been on my mind, but you know.
Yeah.
Well, my professor from Finland, I don't know whether purple is royal in Finland.
Are you saying they see colours differently to us? Okay. No, I'm just checking.
I think moving swiftly on. So,
can I ask, does it take a battery as an option? There's no battery, it's got to be powered, is it?
Yeah, just the
power. 9 volt.
Really, I like their pedals. A little, in a way, like TC Electronic, quite simple.
Yeah, There's nothing overly.
No, which for me, when it comes to pedals, is a positive. So anyway, we're going to try this with the Strat. Just my my basic sound. Generally, is I just want a little bit of bite from my amp. I think my gain is on around about 4. So sorry for trying to sound like Matt Schofield. So if we just switch this on with everything set level, it's going to be more drive than I would normally use.
It's going to be quite.
It's going to be fairly full on. So straight away, bring the noise. Still a nice sound. Now I would likely back off my volume a tiny bit. Take the edge off a bit, but go on.
I was going to say, so you've got a volume and you've got a drive.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're just going to throw that out there and just leave and walk the room?
I'll do it if you like. So.
My understanding of this is a fairly similar, I'm not sure if it's officially a transparent overdrive, but it works in quite a similar way.
Yeah.
It's not overly colouring your sound.
Yeah.
I know Mad Professor would say, and I would agree from my experience, that it's just emphasising what you've already got.
Yeah.
Like straight away, that's a more, if you like, hot-rodded version of what I'm getting from my amp anyway.
You've got a bit of drive because you've set the volume up and the drive up, but I guess if you keep the drive down...
Yeah, I would generally keep my drive, probably, I haven't got my glasses on, let's drive around about there.
Yeah.
Very responsive. Really
so you're using the volume to drive the tubes in the tube amp. So, of course, this is going to work slightly differently into a solid state amp.
Okay.
You're pushing the drive section of the amp. So you could pull the drive completely off. Yeah. And your volume then is working as a transparent boost.
Right. Okay.
Really,
so take that all the way off.
You know. So if you just
So. Yeah, so it's giving it a bit of a lift.
You can't hear a lot of difference in it. Really not colouring the sound much at all, is it? It's just giving you a lift. So as soon as you pull the drive in, then you get that. You get that.
Yeah, it's very, the thing I like about it, my experience of pedals is not, as we know, I tend to like to get it from my amp. But I remember in the past, the more rocky days, I had one of those orange Boss distortion pedals.
Yeah.
And I don't, something about distortion pedals, they're obviously more aggressive.
Yeah.
I generally, if I can't get the sound I want from an amp, there's a fair chance I don't particularly want that amp. Yeah. So then I just need something that's going to lift it, which is when I got the Spark, did that, it was fantastic. I would say this pedal compared to my Spark, I know they're different, slightly different types of pedals, but I love the Spark. This to me is a little bit warmer sounding.
I would say the Spark is really, although there is that grit sort of setting on it, it really is aimed as being a transparent volume rise or boost.
Yeah.
It is quite a lot of boost, the Spark.
Yeah.
And the EQ is very nice on the Spark as well. So if you've got a sound you love and you just want more of it when you're entering a solo, or you just want to beef it with a bit more bass, or, you know, change the shape of your pickups. Because that's where the bass and the treble comes in much better for me than a tone control.
Yeah.
Is, you know, if your humbucker's just too warm, you can just pull a bit of bass out, and it's working as a small EQ pedal as well as an overdrive. And I like that about these. I think it's a really useful, without the complexity of 7 bands of EQ and all that kind of...
Yeah, which...
yeah, we know, we've established.
Not overly keen on that, but... but it is really responds to the attack.
It's just it's taking what you're putting out, it's lifting it up, and it's doing the same thing.
Yeah, you know? On. So if I switch that off again, it's exactly the same, but just a little bit more in your face.
So I like things like overdrive pedals when you're practicing at home. That's why I like EQ, because it's good at home. So you can take what is a tube amp that isn't great at home.
Yeah.
You know, that's where your solid state amps work really well, is at the lower volumes, as well as you absolutely these days I have to say they're getting immensely good. But these can give you something a bit more at home. You know, it gives you that bit more bass, makes you feel a bit more involved in the sound. But when you're live, it just gives that little push on the front end when you need it. And I do like that. I mean, obviously you've got a preamp, you've got your volume, you've got your preamp anyway, so you can just add a bit more preamp. But this is quite nice, especially when you're switching between different guitars and things like that.
Yeah,
I think that's quite a nice way of doing it. Yeah, do you want me to just pop that slightly?
We're going to get a bit of noise for a second. Or not, there we go. Okay, check you out. Yeah, so I lean towards my Strat with this, obviously, but obviously, again, if we do with the pedal off, for me
So you're getting a bit more drive without the pedal on there, aren't you?
Oof. What have you done to my guitar, Jeff?
I did this on purpose, just so you'd look.
So, yeah, for me, the holy grail of Les Paul sounds is unashamedly Paul Kossoff. It's just as good as it gets.
Plexi, in it?
It's
Marshall
just
and Les Paul.
Astounding sound. Quite sure we're going to get there with this. But
I was going to say, you've set yourself a bit of a...
bit harsh, a little harsh. I would back my... Quite nice, kind of, you think of a Les Paul as that kind of creamy sound, which is lovely. Yeah, that's very, very, very nice.
One of my favourite bands.
Yep. Just the ultimate Les Paul sound.
I mean, you know, I know we've talked about Paul Kossoff, but I reminded myself the other day how young he passed away.
Yeah,
I was just like blown away.
It's devastating.
What a talent! Amazing where he would have gone. Who knows?
You often think now, don't you, with great players that have
Jimmy and
just how good they would have been.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
just wonderful.
Yeah,
so you know, I find it a little bit like we said earlier. It emphasises what you've got. So equally good for the Strat and the Les Paul, it's just going to kind of lift what I'm already trying to get. This amp is pretty new to me. We've talked about it.
Yeah, we've been
today,
able to play with the Laney a bit, haven't we? And we've found out that it works better at higher volumes when you can hear the power amp stage a lot more.
Yeah.
That goes back to what I was saying, really. It's a tube amp made for live, really. It's not really a bedroom volume.
No, it's not a bedroom amp. It's too loud. It's very loud.
You can get a nicer sound out of it whilst practicing with a good pedal like that. And then live, you can push the front end a bit to give you a certain vibe. Or just to lift you for a solo.
Yeah.
You know, using it as a
I tend to use it alongside my Spark, and my Spark is set to lift and virtually add nothing.
Yeah, it's just a tiny
no
volume.
grit to it really, and then that I'll use to add a little bit more grit. I mean, it's got a fair amount of. If we go on,
turn the volume down a bit.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Again,
the drive up.
Territory that I probably wouldn't go in, but that's not too bad. Well, that's plenty, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's lovely.
Unless you are looking for distortion.
Yeah,
that is, yeah, that is plenty, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, that's
yeah,
it's an interesting little pedal, isn't it? I mean, there's a billion overdrives.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
And you know, each one does have different flavors. I like the fact that there's that transparent element to this. It's not coloring it too much or at all when you're just using it as a volume control, really, which I think makes it a good, flexible piece of kit.
Yeah, I think.
What sort of price are they?
So they're roughly 150 quid. I think this cost me about 150.
They're quite, you know, they're upper end, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, of course, thanks to Brexit, they're a bit more, aren't they? Because they're, you know, it's just the way it is, isn't it?
Yeah, I think if you're not super tech savvy, then it's not. I don't think it's a bad idea to find somebody whose tone you really like.
Yeah,
figure
I
out
think
what
it's a
they're
good approach.
using.
Yeah.
I even, to be honest with you, when I'm with you, just watching you with the controls of a pedal, I learn a lot just watching somebody who uses pedals a lot more than me. So it's obviously Matt Schofield that through this pedal I found this pedal, but it sounds amazing with a Les Paul as well. You know, so and obviously he's more of a Strat player. So very good pedal. Very sketchy review from me.
You know, Steve, it was not bad at all, to be honest. And that's from me high praise.
Oh, thanks,
I'll have you know.
So there you are. That's the Mad Professor
Great.
Royal Blue Overdrive. Fantastic pedal. Thank you for watching the Blues Box. As we say, please subscribe and come back and see us again.
Take care.